get low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go.
Brian Giles from Brian Giles MTG. And hoo-ha, we're back with more Modern Horizons 3 spoilers. So let's just jump into it. So starting our list off with some cards that were slotted in elsewhere from yesterday. So we have Pearl Ear Imperial Advisor. 2 white and 1 for a 3/4 Fox Advisor. He has Lifelink, Legendary Fox Advisor. His Lifelink and enchantment spells you cast have affinity for auras. If you cast an aura spell that targets a modified permanent you control, draw a card. So in your modified deck where you're doing enchantments, auras, and equipment and stuff, +1/+1 counters, this guy matters. Especially, with your auras. So he's your aura king right here. So hoo-ha. And he got a little lifelink on top of it. I'm not unhappy with him. Okay. Then we have Volatile Stormdrake. Now this is a fun card. So it's Volatile Stormdrake is a blue and 1 for a 3/2 Drake with flying and hexproof from activated and triggered abilities. Oh, you want to try to get rid of this using the Wandering Emperor? Nope. When it enters the battlefield, it exchange control of Volatile Stormdrake and target creature and opponent controls. If you do, you get 4 energy. Then sacrifice that creature unless you pay an amount of energy equal to its mana value. Okay, so it does have a bit of a drawback, but hoo-ha, I'm, if you need something, if you need energy or whatnot, that's the way to go. We have Case Famed Mechanist. This is the backup commander for the energy deck. So it's a blue, red, a white, and 1 for a 3/3 Dwarf Artificer with Fabricate 1. Other non-token creatures you control have Fabricate 1. And, it has this cool little ability, 2 mana, tap it and choose 1, Populate or Proliferate, which means you can either populate, get you an extra servo token, or proliferate and beef up your +1/+1 counters. So hoo-ha. Then we have Detectives Phoenix, which is probably something that was left over, that didn't fit in, that wasn't able to get slotted into either Outlaws or Murders of Karloff Manor. So it's a red and 2 for a 2/2 Phoenix with 2/2 enchantment creature Phoenix. So it has bestow and collect evidence 6. So you pay the red and you exile cards with mana value 6 or greater from your graveyard, and it has flying and haste. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and has flying and haste. So if you do the bestow cost, you can cast this as like it's a creature enchantment. You do that from the graveyard. So it's another quirky little Phoenix. That's yeah. But like I said, if you're working with enchantments or equipment, like with Pearl Ear, yeah, this might be a quirky little thing. Okay, and finally we have Azlask, the Swelling Scourge. Another one of the Eldrazi. For 3 mana, you get a 2/2 Eldrazi. Whenever Azlask, the Swelling Scourge, or another colorless creature you control dies, you get an experience counter. This is the backup commander for the Eldrazi commander deck. So you can pay WUBRG, white, blue, black, red, green. Creatures you control gets +X/+X, where X is the number of experience counters you have. Scions and spawns you control gain indestructible and annihilator 1 until end of turn. Ew. Now, if you have something like the new Ulamog out, where your spawns and your scions, and you don't even have to, because Annihilator 1, happens it's an on attack trigger. So this thing could be absolutely nasty. And paired with Ulamog, the new Ulamog, that could be absolutely broken. So we've gotten the rest of everything else. We're gonna skip up to where we left off yesterday. Kind of. Okay. So things have been kind of. I don't know if we covered Corum the Undertaker, but we'll cover him again. Got some friends to call him Mr. Feedbag because of his mask and everything. Looks like a horse's feedbag. So Corum the Undertaker is Jund, which is black, red, green, and 1 for a 0/5 legendary human warrior. Gets +X/+0, where X is the greatest power among creature cards in all graveyards. Whenever Corum attacks, each player mills a card. During each of your turns, you may play a land and cast a spell from among cards of graveyards that are put there from libraries this turn. So you get power from the graveyard. If you need that creature, you can cast it. And play a land from the graveyard. So this guy's definitely in the graveyard recursion type of thing. So hoo-ha. And of course, this is the backup commander for the Lurgoyf deck. So he's going to get immensely powerful the more creatures you have in the graveyard. Now, I know we passed up Omo, Queen of Vesuva. So she's a hybrid green-blue and 2 for a 1/5 shapeshifter noble. Whenever Omo, Queen of Vesuva enters the battlefield or attacks, put an everything counter on each of up to 1 target land and 1 target creature. Each land with an everything counter on it is every land type in addition to its other types. Each non-land creature with an everything counter is every creature type. So this is the main commander for that particular deck. It's designed around the whole shapeshifter idea. Lands and creatures are just everything. Because she's the Queen of Vesuva, the queen of the copy people, the shapeshifter copies. Of course, we got the reprint of Archon of Cruelty, which is actually lots of people. This is a powerful card. 2 black and 6 for a 6/6 Archon with flying. When it enters the battlefield or attacks, target opponent sacrifices a creature or planeswalker, discards a card, and loses 3 life, and you draw a card and gain 3 life. It is insanely powerful. It's expensive, but if you're ramping into it, you've got a card you've got a 6/6 flyer, and whenever it enters the battlefield or attacks, your opponent's just getting hammered. They lose a creature, they discard a card, and they lose 3 life. And they got a 6/6 flyer coming at them. So that's some serious hurt. And you gain 3 life, and you draw cards as well. So Archon of Cruelty is mean. This is Geode, the backup commander for the shapeshifter deck. So green and blue and 2 for a 2/4 legendary elemental. Enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 green forest dryad land creature token for each time you've cast your commander from the command zone. And they're affected by summoning sickness. At the beginning of each combat, land creatures you control get +X/+X till end of turn, where X is Geode's power. So this guy definitely carries. This is a lands matters type of commander-esque type thing. You can play it as a backup, or you can play it as your commander for like a Lands Matters deck. And believe me, there's a lot of Lands Matters cards out there. Hoo-haw. We've gone over Apex Devastator. Crib Swap, which is a nice reprint. So a white and 2 for a Kindred instant shapeshifter. So it's a Kindred thing. It's changed to this card is every creature type. Exile target creature, its controller creates a shapeshifter creature token with changeling. So it's a kind of a quirky removal. Next up, we have Disciple of Freilias. This is the green flip land. So, 3 green and 3 for a 3/3 elf druid. When it enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, gain X life and draw X cards where X is that creature's power. So if somebody's trying to, you can sacrifice your big creature and gain a bunch of life and draw a bunch of cards. And of course, the Garden of Freilias is the land. It enters the battlefield tapped unless you pay the 3 life. Of course, the return of the medallions, this is the Sapphire Medallions, 2 mana for an artifact. Blue spells cost 1 generic less to cast. And they come in these cool full art versions as well. So, here's another crazy card in Shadow of the Second Sun, which is based, off of the Amonkhet universe, the Amonkhet plane. So it's kind of a beefy 2 blue and 4 for an enchantment, or you enchant the player at the beginning of enchanted player's post-combat main phase. There's additional beginning phase after this phase. So untap, upkeep, and draw happens again afterwards. After post-combat. So, there's been some cards, that are, looking at extra upkeeps and stuff, and that plays into this. But it also gives you extra draw steps, which, plays into cards that cares about how many cards you draw and everything. So this is an interesting little card that might see, so this might get kind of abused somehow. Hoo-ha. Then we have another crazy Eldrazi from the Commander deck in Hideous Taskmaster. So he's a beefy red and 6 for a 7/2 Eldrazi with Devoid. When you cast a spell for each opponent, gain control of up to 1 target creature that player controls until end of turn. Untap those creatures, they gain Trample, Haste, and Annihilator 1 until end of turn. And he has Trample, Haste, and Annihilator 1. It's insanity. This dude, you ramp into him, this dude comes into play, takes creatures from all three. You can take creatures from all 3 of your opponents, give them, untap them and give them haste, and they get Trample and Annihilator 1 until end of turn. And you have this dude with Trample, Haste, and Annihilator 1. So you're making people take their stuff and make them lose more stuff. This sucker is just nasty. Just an ugly, ugly card. Next up, we have Trickster's Elf. Excuse me, Trickster's Elk, which is an enchantment creature from the Eldraine plane, which, excuse me, the green and 2 for a 3/3 enchantment creature elk. It has a bestow for a green and 1. So you can make it into a creature enchantment for a green and 1. Enchanted creature loses all abilities, and a green elk creature with base power and toughness of 3/3. So basically, it's about the elk that they turned the king into on the Eldraine plane. Kenrith. So we got Emerald Medallion, which is 2 mana for an artifact. Rain spells cost 1 generic less to cast. We got Jet Medallion, which is black spells, 2 mana artifact. Black spells cost 1 generic less to cast. Pearl Medallion, which is an artifact. White spells cost 1 generic less to cast. And finally, Ruby Medallion, for 2 mana, you get an artifact. Red spells cost 1 less to cast. Well, that's all the time I have for right now. We're over 21 minutes. We'll see you on the next video.